It's that time again. It is time for another Monday message. So I'll keep this nice and short. This is what I want to say about this scenario. Number one, a message to the parents. This is something that I personally am working on because it naturally creeps in. Here's the message to the parents. It is not our job to create in our children a better version of ourselves. We should not be on a mission to create another human being who doesn't make the same mistakes that we made or experiences the successes that we missed out on. So have you, as a child of your parents, have you ever heard, or as a parent yourself, have you ever said any of the following things? I don't want you to experience those negative things that I experienced. Or I want you to have things better than I had it, right? Or maybe you were told as a kid, I don't want you to end up like so-and-so, your cousin, your friend, my mom, whatever it be. Have you heard those phrases before? Have you said those phrases to your kids before? It all comes from a natural source, right? We don't want our children to go through painful experiences. That's natural, and it's okay. When the kid hits those teenage years, they start to receive this and say things back like, well, just because you went through that, just because you made that mistake, doesn't mean that I will. Now, a message for the kids. This can be an extremely challenging situation to find yourself in. Many of us, we want to honor our parents. We want to be obedient. We don't want to go against what they say. But at the same time, we want to have that respect from them, that we can go out into this world and make our own decisions and be our own beautiful, productive adult selves. As parents, our job is to create an environment where our children can grow into their own beautiful person. We can highlight all of those strengths and those gifts that they bring to the world and not try to recreate a better version of ourselves, right? And of course, I know from experience as a teacher that these factors can be even more compounded when someone comes from a background like an immigrant family. The Latino perspective here in the United States, all of the culture from wherever it is that you're coming from, that stuff can be heavy, and those expectations can be very weighty and thick on a kid growing up in this country. If you know me, then you know that I struggle with these kinds of things with my own son, right? He is naturally gifted in the areas that I'm gifted in. He's naturally attracted to the kinds of things that I'm naturally attracted to. So as a dad, it's really easy for me to fall into that I need to make him a better version of me situation. So I want to take a quick second to just encourage you. If you're the child in this situation, you're that teenager, you're that young adult, and you're wanting to go out into the world and open your wings and really let the beautiful person inside show out to the world, don't lose hope. Don't feel as if you are turning your back on your family, on your culture, on your parents' desires. In fact, maybe you could word it this way to your parents. Maybe you could say something like, you know what, Mom, you know what, Dad? Your ultimate desire was to create a strong, assertive, and goal-oriented, powerful adult, and that's what you've done in me. And so now's the time for me to go out and to show that those skill sets have been raised in me, that I can be my own beautiful person out in this world as an adult. And I have an encouraging word for the parents as well on the flip side of this entire scenario. No, there's no way for your child to completely ruin their life, okay? Getting pregnant doesn't ruin someone's life. Having a breakup with a bad relationship doesn't ruin your life. In fact, those are the scenarios in our lives that cause us to grow. Those are the things that build character and personality and depth and understanding about how the world works. So instead of trying to keep your child from going through those experiences, go through them with them. Instead of heaping guilt on your kid for making a poor decision, go through that decision with them and support them on picking up the pieces afterwards. So parents, your job, our jobs, it's not to create a better version of ourselves. And kids out there, teenagers, young adults, your job is not to live according to exactly what your parents desire your life to look like. No, you're supposed to grow up and choose those character traits that you would love to take on from past generations, including your parents, and also prune away those things that you don't find to fit with who you are. Thanks again for hanging out with me for another Monday message. I will see you next week.